Hello, and welcome to another session on using Blender for video editing. Today, and for the next two sessions, we're going to dive into the graph editor. We're going to learn by going through an example of taking this image of a piano and bringing it up as if something is raising it up, and then allowing it to fall and slam back down to the floor. We're going to build on top of this animation example in the next two videos. So let's get started. So for this animation, we are going to just scrub over here until the 1 second mark. So nothing's going to happen for the first second. And then at this point, we're going to start raising it up. So to do that, we're going to scroll down here to get to the image offset for Y. I'm going to start by pressing the I key to set the first keyframe. And as you can see, now we've got some stuff added already in the graph editor. We'll get to there very shortly. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to move along. Let's say it takes about 4 seconds. So up until the 5 second mark. And this is at this point, it will have the piano fully raised. So now I'm just going to left click and drag on the Y to the right so we can bring it up there. Okay, and now instead of pressing I this time, I'm going to right click and say insert keyframe, same thing. And again, now it's yellow to show us that we have a keyframe at this position in time. Okay, so now it's time to go into the graph editor. Like any other editor, we have the different hotkeys we can work with. So I'm just going to press the home key so it zooms out and we can see everything that is visible right now. So what are we looking at? Really, it's like back to basic math class, right? We're looking at a graph. So we have an x-axis and we have a y-axis. X-axis represents time. So this is our same time cursor here. So, and I can scrub along. So you can see as I scrub from left to right, we can see it animating. And then along the y-axis, well, that's the thing that we are animating. And in this case, it is the Y image offset. So you can see at this point, this is our first keyframe. That's the 0 value. And then it goes all the way up to 425. Let's keep going from there. So let's say, so we've got it raised. We'll let it sit there for a couple seconds and then we'll bring it down. We'll try and get it to kind of crash down. So that'll be a faster animation. So we're at 5 seconds now. I'm just going to jump over to about 7 seconds. So I'll give it 2 seconds standing, just hanging there in the air. Press the I key again. There we go. And then now we'll take maybe just 1 second. 1 second for it to come down. So we'll jump ahead to about 8, right? The 8 second mark. And now we'll bring that back down to 0. Just type that in and press the I key again. And now let me just go back into the graph editor, hit the home key. And this is what we're seeing now. I'll use the mouse wheel to zoom it out a bit. And let's go ahead and play this. I'm just going to jump back to the start and press the play. So you can see there it is, it's rising, and it doesn't look very convincing, but let's see when it comes down. Okay, so a couple of problems right now. First is that it's actually playing kind of slow, and I think I can get it to speed up for next time if I enable the proxy. So let's gonna press N while I have it over here. I'll change that to proxy 25. And hopefully that'll fix it for next time. So you can see here. So like I said, like I don't like the way this looks, but this is the best we could have done without using the graph editor. Just having this kind of, well, what it's effectively a linear movement. So let's change that. I'm going to stop this, and now let's explore the graph editor. So when we go around here. And we can select these nodes just like, these keyframes rather, in the same way that we do selections inside of the video sequence editor. That is to say, using the right mouse button. So I can click on any one of these to change things about it. And in this case, I'm thinking I don't want it to start here and then just like a robot just go up like this. Like we're going to let it accelerate to a certain speed, and then it'll go up, and then it'll slow down before it reaches the top. And to do that, once you have one of this keyframe selected where you want to make that change, you can go to Key, and then we want to go to Interpolation Mode. So here right now is the current value, which is linear. What we want is to use this one. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to say Bezier. That might be right. So I'm going to click that. As soon as I click that, you can see now that it is now like a gentle curve until it gets to this kind of motion, and then it looks like it's going to slow down a bit near the end. So let's play that now and see how that looks. Yeah, so you can see there was a little bit of a slowdown. It was a slowing acceleration there. So it starts moving slowly, and then it really kind of gets moving, and then it slows down before it gets to that final Y value that we want. And this is great. But now let's turn our attention to the this drop. So I said I wanted to do like a kind of a bounce, which is not realistic for a piano to bounce, but it's a cartoonish animation, so we can go get away with that. Okay, so I'll stop that, and this time, so I will right click to select this keyframe, and again we're going to go to Key, and again we're going to go to Interpolation. We're going to switch it to Bounce. As soon as we do that, you can see it actually looks like what's happening is that it doesn't quite make it down to the 0 value. It won't really touch the ground, and then it'll just kind of go bounce in midair and come back down, but that's not the case. It's just Blender isn't showing this properly. So let me zoom in. I'll zoom in and I'll scroll over a bit. There, you can see now that I've zoomed in a lot, you can see it really is coming down to the 0 value, and then up, and then down, and then like that, like a bounce. So let's play that now. I'll press the home key to bring it back to there. I'll press the play button. So you can see there's our Bezier interpolation there, and then it stops, and then crashing bounces down. All right, and it's actually that's as simple as it sounds, as it looks. With just a few clicks, you can take your animations from a straight linear to a bounce, and there's other effects there too that you can, other kinds of interpolation that you can try. And that'll be it for today, except there's a few more things that I wanted to show you. First is the fact that you can directly change values in the graph editor. Let's say, for example, let's say we didn't want it to take the full 4 seconds to go from the ground all the way up. If we wanted to, we can move it so it happens earlier. And I'll show you. So we just right click on this, and then you have a few choices. You can click and drag, right click and drag to bring it where you want, or you can press the G button. I prefer pressing the G key. And as you can see, I am actually free to move it anywhere. So anywhere on the timeline, but also up or down. But in this case, well, what just happened there? Whoa, that's strange. Okay, I'm going to press the escape key. Let's try that again, but with a constraint. So I'm going to, this time, I'm going to press the G, which is the same thing, G for grab to move it around. And I just want to make it happen earlier. So what I'm going to do is I will press the X key on the keyboard, and that restricts my motion to going along the X-axis. So I'm not going to change the value, I'm just going to change where this keyframe happens. So I'm going to put it more over here. So it'll take less time to drag it up. Like that, let go. Then if I play it now, there, you can see it goes up much faster, and then there's a longer time before it comes crashing back down. One more thing is that like with the video sequence editor, there's other things that we can do. So for example, we can set a preview range, so we don't have, if we wanted to focus our attention to a specific part of the animation, we can do that. So I will press the P button on the keyboard, and now I've got this kind of crosshair, and I can just click and drag the box. It's really just, you know, the X part that matters, but I'm just going to do it this way so I can see and make sure that I'm capturing all the frames that I want to look at. So now with that done, you can see that it's also engaged this button here. So when I hit the play button, it'll only play this preview range, not the entire rendering range. So that's it. That's it for today's session. And again, we will build off of this and look at what other things we can do with the graph editor, and still using this animation is going to get better, I think. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll see you next time. If you like this video, please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.